Hey, so I have kind of it seems like a long video, but this tutorial is really simple. So it's just a attack dummy. Here's a example here. I have a video of it before I actually get to the tutorial. Go ahead and skip forward just like a couple, I don't know, 20 seconds or so if you want to actually see the tutorial. Um, so it basically just mimics actual like I don't know, an entity, I guess. And as you can see in this video, it doesn't die. It works really well for like testing damage and stuff. And overall, I think this is like a great way to make an attack dummy. And just one more thing, don't put items in the armor stand's hand because in the tutorial you'll see that the armor stand resets. So whatever you do, don't put anything in its hand. But yeah, that's how you make. This is how you'll make an attack dummy. Alright guys, so thank you for clicking on the video. I have a attack dummy here. So after you watch that preview I had at the beginning, I will actually show you how to do that. So it's really simple. These are all the commands you need. This one is orange or on impulse because I have this one off for now. But I'll show you what to do for these guys in a second. So I'm just going to start with this. So this is a structure block. Okay, so to get this, you just have to do slash. Let me pull it up here. I guess I don't have it in chat. One sec. So you'll do slash give at s, which is yourself, and then you'll do structure, and then I'm just going to autofill, and then structure block. And as you can see, I already have one in my inventory here. So you need this block to do what I like to do. You can just have the attack dummy like this, where the arms are just out, but I have the structure like that because I like the arms to be in instead of out, but it's all about preference. So it's really simple. All you do is put the dummy in the structure like zone, and really you can clone it however, like, okay, I need to explain this better. Okay, when you clone it, whichever way it's facing now, like for example, it's facing this way, so the body's gonna face this way. Like no matter where I clone it, it's always gonna face that way. So you want to clone it to which way you want it to face. So I'm just gonna, all you're gonna do is put its arms in, and then this is the settings that you need. So just put the name as dummy. The size, this is just the size of the zone, and the offset, this is just so instead of it being on the block, so if I reset it here, then you can see it's on the block. I just have the offset, so it's outside of the block and onto the armor stand. You don't need to name the armor stand at all, it just has to be an armor stand, I guess. So you'll do remove blocks on, include entities, and then save to disk, because if you do save to memory, it seems like this would save it in your world, but it actually doesn't. It will, but once you leave, you'll have to resave it. So if you do save to disk, you won't have to do that. And then so you'll just press save, and then you don't need to worry about loading it or anything because the commands that I'll show you will already do that for you. So that's all you have to do for that. And if you're wondering how I have noises or animations like this, I have a resource pack. So the sounds are not from this resource pack. They're from a custom one that I have, but the animations are from actions and stuff. So we're gonna get to the commands here. It's all about preference where you want the dummy to be. You can use these tilde symbols here to have the position for the armor stand. It's completely up to you, but I'm just gonna use coordinates just to make it easier to explain this. So we're just gonna start with the skeleton here. So what you're gonna do is, I already have it here. You're gonna do slash summon skeleton, and then the name of the skeleton, and then tilde tilde tilde, which is going to be on your position, which is spawn position here, X, Y, and Z, and then the name tag string, which is the dummy. And so you can, if you're only having like one dummy in your map and you don't need like other stuff, like other dummies, then you can just call it dummy, but I have mine as dummy 1. So you're going to need to name them like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like for example, you're gonna have to increase the number, so because each of these commands, they need the name of the dummy to actually TP to a certain coordinate. So the name has to be of which one is teleporting to a certain coordinate. So if you have another one like that, let's just say the dummy is gonna be like right here, like another dummy, and you have one right here, then you're gonna have to call this one dummy 2, because if you call it dummy 1, then it'll also TP here instead of here. So that's why you need to call it dummy 1 and not just dummy. unless you have just one, you can just call it dummy. Okay, so you'll notice as I spawn it that his head's going to be shaky, right? So whenever you do this, he's going to be stuck in one place, and as you can see, you know, I can punch him and stuff. He doesn't move. And so I have that with this TP command. So I'll show you this one first. So you're going to execute as the entity, which is the skeleton, and then the name, which is the dummy one. And then you're going to do run, and then TP at S, which is, that's just itself. And these are the coordinates that I have. So just as an example, the coordinates 349, 59, 26, you know. So I have that here. And the facing, this is very important. You want the facing, so it's the same coordinates for the X and the Z here, for these guys, but the Y, the middle coordinate, so that's its position, like the Y-axis. So if you notice, as I go up in the top left, it decreases, but as I go down, or I should say it increases, but as I go down, it decreases. So it's the -59 for where it is on the platform, and then -70 is where it needs to look. So the reason why it's shaking its head like that is because it's looking down, and we have it like that so when the player goes next to it, like even if it's inside of the skeleton, it won't attack it. And so I can showcase that here. Also, if you're wondering why I have stuff just randomly appear in my inventory, it's just because it's just a part of my map. But as you notice, I don't take damage from it. I can hit it and do all that and it won't do any damage. And another thing I forgot to add, the reason why it does not have a bow in its hand is because whenever you do, okay, to get rid of the bow, so it's just the skeleton itself, you're going to do this command here, and this will remove the bow, so it doesn't shoot you. So you're going to do /replace item entity, and then at E, and then name equals dummy1, and then you're going to do slot dot weapon, and then I'm just going to autofill, but it's going to be main hand. And then you're going to put 0, and then after you do that, you're just going to do air. And that's all you have to do. And if you notice the top left, I already have the bow removed, so it's not going to be there. But now it's removed. And just as an example, I can put anything in his offhand, like a boat. And the reason why it's getting removed is because I have a command outside the map that removes it automatically. But you can see it. It's being added. You can see it right there. But that's just an example. So that's how you remove the bow for your dummy, so it doesn't shoot you. And so, as you saw, it won't attack me. It just sits there. It won't despawn because it has a name. So all you need to do for that is just have the TP. And so now for the these are really simple. So I'm gonna turn these on now. I just have these off just so you didn't see the dummy. But now what you're gonna do is, so I'm gonna put these on. And I'm going to show you this just real quick. So for the tick delay and the TP, you want this on 2. And then for the tick delay on this repeating, for the effect, you want this on 80. Because it really only needs the effects just every once in a while. You want it higher tick just because it doesn't need to be on a lower tick. It doesn't need to be happening constantly. And if it's on a higher tick, it'll cause less lag. So you're going to do /effect, skeleton, the name of the skeleton, dummy1, and then resistance. This is the seconds of the resistance that it has, and then 5, so the scale of the resistance, 0 would be 25%, 1 would be 50%, and then 2 would be 75%, and then 3 and above on this scale right here for the resistance, that would basically just have it be invincible. So I just have it on 5. I don't know, I just think 5 looks nice, so I have it on 5 here. And for the next one, I want this on chain. It's another effect here. You're going to have it effect at E, skeleton, dummy, and then invisibility, and then same thing. Doesn't matter what the scale is for the invisibility. I just have 5, and then the seconds, and then if you're wondering what the true is, this makes it so it doesn't have the effects. See, if I remove it, or the particles I should say, if I were to remove it, you can now see the particles on it. So you're gonna want true so you can't see the particles, so it looks more flawless. And now we're going to get on to the dummy, like the armor stand itself. So for this one, you want a 400 tick. It's a big tick, but it really doesn't need to happen often. So unless you want it to happen more often, then I would put it on like 100, for example. But all it does is it TPs the armor stand under the map. So these are the coordinates of this, obviously, and it TPs it under the map, and this is -80. So depending on what your map is in the coordinates, you want to figure out where the void is under this, like under the coordinate of where you want the dummy to be. So for example, for me, mine's just -80, so that'll kill it. That'll put it in the void and it'll die. And it'll just be the TP for the armor stand. I have it on range equals 6, so you want your commands to be somewhat close to your armor stand, just because it's not named. So just try and put your commands as close as possible to your armor stand, just so you can use this range factor. And then you'll do C equals 1. That's just like, I don't know the actual term for it, I just think of it as count for the C, but that's just like, it'll only TP one armor stand. So if you have a bunch of armor stands like around this area, it'll only TP the nearest armor stand, which would be this one, which when I spawn it, which will be that one, and it'll TP it under the map. And for this one, so this just 0 tick, and then this is structure load dummy, and then the coordinates. And so now what I'll do is I will turn the command on. So if I put it on repeat, then now the armor stand will summon, okay? And that's pretty much it for the attack dummy. There isn't really much else. These are all the commands you need, okay? That's all you need. You just gotta do the structure block. And if you notice, he doesn't die. So, obviously another thing is you can still kill the armor stand. It's kind of hard to do so, but in my world, armor stands have resistance, but in your world, they probably don't have resistance. But if you want to, you can just copy one of these commands, and instead of adding the resistance on the skeleton, for example, you add it to the armor stand, so it can't die. But yeah, as you can see, it doesn't die. You can hit it as much as you want. But if you target like the upper region, like where I'm hitting now, like up here, you have to like jump for it. But when you hit up there, there are some times where you can damage the armor stand, and if that does happen, then I would give the armor stand resistance like I do, or like I have in my map, and so that'll prevent it from dying. And really, that's all you really got to do. The attack dummy is really simple. Just the hardest part is just setting everything up and making sure that looking through it, you have all the coordinates right, and you're not like, you know, messing up the coordinates and stuff. So that's really all you got to do. This is great for testing out weapons. If you have another like resource pack that shows damage, then you can see how much damage your weapon does. And it's just great for my map as well, just so if people want to test how quickly weapons break, for example, you know, like in my map, then they can test that. So really, it's just overall a great attack dummy. It works flawlessly. The only problem, which you can't really fix, is there's just a delay on the damage, but you don't really notice it, so it's not really that big of a deal. But yeah, so that's how you make a attack dummy, and I hope you guys enjoyed.